right. Everything's looking good from here. So welcome. This is the 21st of December, 2023. So this will be probably my last stream before Christmas. And yeah, today we're going to do a little bit of Adobe Express. And we're going to look specifically at using the animation controls inside of Express and some of the things you can do with that. So here I have the Express progressive web app here, but you can use the browser as well. And it looks like they've got it all decorated for the end of the year here. Got little snow puffies going on. So let's go ahead and figure something out here, right? So there's lots of ways we could start with this. I'm gonna say let's just start from scratch, right? Let's see. I was thinking about doing like a Christmas card or something, but that's a little bit tied to the here and now, whereas just doing something from scratch might make a little more. It might make it a little more long-lived, right? So here I'm gonna create something, and you can see there's a bunch of suggested sizes here. Let's look up. I always like a postcard size, right? Like a 4:3, 6x4, whatever. Let's go ahead and start with that. And there we go. We've got our little postcard here. So let's go through and actually find like a background texture and add some additional elements to this so that we've got something to animate. Because of course, if you've got just a blank canvas, there isn't really much to animate there, is there? All right, so let's go ahead and do that. What I'm gonna look for, photos, not exactly. I mean, I want some textures, right? So search photos. Yeah, so here's some nice textures we can use. I want something pretty subtle and neutral. So let's choose this creamy texture right here. And there it is, right? It adds it to our canvas. And we can always scale it up and down here, but we could also go over to our properties here and set it as the page background. So if I do that, it's gonna fill up the entire page right there. And we can see we've got a background layer, and it's shown by that little symbol that you see right there. It shows that this is the background. So now that I've got that going on, I want to figure out what else I want to put in here. Let's put in a little bit of text. We'll just say winter greetings. And now we're dating it, right? But that's okay. We've got some suggestions here. That's pretty fun. I could use that. Let's place it somewhere up here. So I guess I am doing a sort of card at this point, which I wasn't going to, but here we are. Let's make it a little lighter red. There we go. And let's also say welcome 2024. So it'll be that sort of thing, a celebration of the death of the old year. Change our fill color. So yeah, once I have this set up, then we can start animating it. But as I mentioned, to actually animate anything, you need your content in place first, right? So you have to have some sort of little design that you're going to use in order to do this. Let's go ahead and add in brushes. Let's add in a splash from these brushes here. It's kind of fun. Center this, and you know, at this point too, right, as I'm going through this is overlapping our text, so I can always go up here into our layers and change that, right? Let's add some shadow to our text, something a bit crisp and strong. Take that distance down a bit. And it is nice that we have these controls, right, inside of the software. I wish we could do distance X and distance Y to make things a little bit better, but hey, we go with what we got, right? We'll do the same thing to winter greetings. You know, I kind of wonder if maybe I should do something that's a little more... Oh yeah, that's kind of fun. Just kind of change that shadow based upon the color of our actual content here. Let's do that with this one too. Oops. Hey guy. Let's go classic. Change that color. Ah, the color's good, it's fine. Take the blur down a bit. And the distance. Tighten it up. There we go. So that's looking pretty good. So now that we're kind of into it, I know there are people here. I can see that in the Behance dashboard controls. So feel free to say hello. Hello, Rob. Thank you. Season's greetings. Merry Christmas. Happy New Year. Winter greetings. I hope you're doing well. Yeah, I am. I'm actually still grading. So I teach, right? If you don't know my stream and everything, I'm a Adobe Education featured streamer, and I work at the University of Colorado Boulder, where I teach Adobe creative software to advertising and media students, creatives. It's very fun. But I have a bunch of stuff left to grade. Well, not too much, but I do have to do final grades. Yesterday was the last day for them to be able to turn stuff in, so it's all on my plate now. Right. Oh, working through my book. Which book is that, Rob? One of my Animate books, the Creative Cloud book. Adobe Animate, cool. Yeah. Yeah. And that's one thing I'm trying to do too. I'm trying to finish a new book. This one's on, I mentioned it in the last stream, it's on 2D and 3D workflows. It's coming out very, very nice. But I have to finish that before the new year, so I'm almost done. All right, so we've got a couple things here. I need something else in the middle. Winter greetings. Let's just generate a snowman. So instead of brushes, let's go to shapes. I'm just gonna plop a shape right down here. Make it as big as I want. And then here,
so small.
It's been a while since I've done anything like this.
Any hopes that are somehow
Oh, here we go. Text to image. So I'm doing it wrong. I'm doing it like Illustrator, where you can draw out a vector and then do a text to vector kind of description. So here I can just go to media, photos, text to image. Easy. Let's do a portrait. Perfect. There we go. That's much better. And what I'm gonna do is give it a little prompt here. So cheerful winter snowman on a neutral background. And the reason that I tell it that I want a neutral background, right, is I want to be able to remove that background. So I want it to be just very plain. And we generate. So what kind of snowman we get.
the dead reach for us through the veil of purgation.
Okay, guys.
Cannot touch us.
Yeah, I mean,
Can touch
it's
us.
fine. Let's choose, let's just,
We are separated.
let's go with this one.
Even
He looks a little menacing. He's got these, like, eyebrows. And his nose is very, peculiar. Alright, so there's my text image.
still.
So now that I've got this image right here,
Still.
what I want to do is remove background, right? Remove the image background, just keeping the subject. All I want is the snowman. Did a pretty good job. Thank you, guy. And let's flip him horizontally so he's facing the other direction. Cool. You know what? That works out kind of good. It looks like he's sort of like emerging from the stuff here. The colors. All right. I'm like constantly doing Command S. And of course, in Adobe Express, it saves it automatically. So it's pointless to do a Command S. But at least it's not like Microsoft Excel or Word on the web, where it like actively scolds you for trying to save things. It just doesn't do anything, right? So that is one good thing about Express here. All right, cool. So we've got all of our stuff, and let's put one more thing in here. Let's put some kind of design elements that we can animate. Some shapes. Snowflakes. Maybe. No snowflakes. Check snowflakes design assets. Oh, that's kind of nice. Yeah.
Repeating your rhythmic charms.
Maybe we could have a border animated in. That might be fun. How do I only do one dimension in Express? Can I not just do one dimension? That's a bit rotten if that's true.
Balance your foresight
And we're going to pull this down as well
against the
behind everything.
ticking
Let's pull the snowman down behind our text too, just in case we animate the snowman over the text. I don't want to do that. Cool. All right. I think that's going to be just about everything. That seems like a suitable amount of stuff where we can start exploring some animation. So animation inside of Express is kind of interesting, right? It's basically based. It's based on a number of presets that you can tweak a couple of different properties of, but nothing crazy. But it is kind of nice to be able to do something simple and direct. Right? Okay. So what I want to do is have this stuff kind of come in to animate. So the way you access the animation stuff is it's like everything else. You just select the thing and then you scroll down and it's like, oh, we got animation right here. We got adjustments, effects, and animation. So I'm gonna click on animation, and the basic thing that we're gonna be able to choose, do we wanna animate an object in? Do we wanna animate it out? Or do we want it to loop some kind of animation? So I'm gonna animate this in. I want it to kind of come in, right? And we can see if we hover over each of these, how those different animations are going to work. Oh, that's kind of nice. Fade's kind of nice. Shrink, I think, is what I want. Yes. So shrink pulls it down from a greater size into what we want. So I'm going to click shrink. And now things change a little bit, right? So now we can see we have a little timeline here. We can play back that motion and so forth. So shrink, we got the duration of the shrink. Personality, right now it's energetic. You could do smooth, strong. Smooth's kind of nice, right? So like I said, you've got some very, very small things you can tweak when it comes to our animation here. So there's one. Let's have winter greetings drop in. And scroll down, animation. Again, this is coming in. Bungee, yeah, that's exactly what I want to get. Something like, or his drop. Let's have it bungee in. This is kind of nice. You can say like the direction you want it to come in and everything like that. So you do have some considerations here. One thing that I do not like is that you can't really say, oh, you can. Nice. Oh, here we go. This is what I was looking for. Yes. So when we show layer timing, that's how we can control the animation of each particular layer, which is very, very nice. So there's that one. Winter greetings. And this one here. Let's have that come in at the end, right? So I want winter greetings to come in, and then welcome 2024. And winter greetings. Maybe that comes in first. Welcome 2024. Let's have that come in somewhere around here. And for animation, again, we're going in. So this one, rise, shrink, pop. Ooh, pop's nice. Let's have it pop in. Loud. What does loud mean when it comes to animation, right? So strong. Let's just go with that. And then we can preview the whole thing, of course. Yeah, that's nice. Just change the timing a little bit here. All right, this object, this little splash, I want this to come in and pulsate. So what we're gonna do is go to animation with that selected, and we want to choose looping this time. So I want the guy to loop. Yes. Breathe. No, that's weird. Ooh. Very weird. Yeah, I think breathe. Let's do pulse and just take it down quite a bit. Yeah, that's kind of nice. Now, here's a question, right? And of course, I'm used to doing stuff with Animate, with After Effects, and things like that, where you have complete control over every single little thing. So it's a bit different working in these sort of restrained environments, but it looks like here that I can actually stagger some of these. I can sequence them a little bit. So if I say in, and I want to do a fade in right there, how's that going to work with pulse? Actually, not bad, right? That's pretty cool. And of course, we can change the duration of this whole thing. So right now that's 8 seconds. I think that's pretty good for a little animation like this. The last thing we need, and actually, this is a little bit obstruction-y. This particular guy here, let's go ahead and adjust this to multiply screen. Yeah, no, not exactly. Let's do normal, but just take the opacity down. Yeah, not too much though, Joseph. So it is nice that you can change the layout of things after adding animation to it, right? That's oftentimes when you're animating traditionally, again, using something like Adobe Animate or After Effects, it's going to be the layout, positioning, and things like that, the scale. These are things you want to set beforehand before you start figuring out your keyframes and all that. So Express does make it very easy to do this kind of stuff. And this is actually the first time I have played with animation inside of Express, aside from just like throwing something on there. So it's and I keep saying this, right? The new Express is it's much more impressive than the old Express is. A lot more control. And I just did a Command S again. Yikes. Okay, so let's go ahead and get this guy. Yeah, so Rob says that Express animation is simple but effective. And I would agree with that. In cases like this, absolutely. You know, again, if you want more control over something, you're going to want to choose something like Adobe Animate, like After Effects. But you know, they did. And if you've used the latest version of After Effects, you'll know that they added, I'm not sure if all of, but many of the animation presets that we're dealing with here inside of Express into After Effects itself, which is kind of weird, right? After Effects is this beast, and Animate and Express is meant to, you know, be a very simple thing to get going. So it's kind of like two different audiences. But somebody like me, who has to use everything and enjoys using everything, it's nice. So let's get how are we gonna do this snowman? Gonna bungee him in? No. Although I wonder if you can come. See, one thing I wish that we could do is to actually like mask content as part of the animation. I would love him to rise up out of the colorful splash that we have. The splash come in, have him sort of like emerge from it, you know? But, you know, that's not something that we've got right now. Yeah. Masking, in particular with animation, right? Absolutely. Because something like this, I would want to slide up, right? Oh, that actually, it's not too bad. It's not exactly what I was looking for, but it's fast enough that, you know, maybe you don't need the mask. But yeah, I mean, I know masking is one of those things, right? It's a more intermediate concept, and, you know, something that would be a concern when it comes to Adobe Express is sort of retaining that simplicity that it has and the ability for people to just like get going with it, you know? So I understand why they don't, you know, necessarily want to put masking in here. So this is cool too. In the timeline here, I can see where all my different layers start. I can see that staggered timeline. And of course we can add scenes, right? Another thing we can add, which I haven't added to this at all, is video content, right? This is pretty good, actually. I'm pleased with this. So let's add some video content here. I'm gonna go back to the beginning, and because of course, right, you've got animation, but you've also got, when you're talking about motion design, right, video as well is part of that whole umbrella. So let's add some video to here. I'm gonna go to media and go to videos. We should put some audio in here too, just for fun. Videos. I wonder if there's any kind of like snow video. Yeah, there we go. That one's kind of nice. It's 9 seconds long. Let's add it in and see if we can change like the blend mode or something like that to blend it into our scene. And yeah, we want this to overlay just about everything. Maybe not the text, but everything else. I'm gonna shift that down and play it back. It's nice drifting snow, very good. Let's see what kind of controls we have here. Opacity, yes. So this is kind of nice, right? We can adjust the speed, so we can slow that down if we want to. Speed it up. All the rest. So remove background. I'm not sure this is going to work very well against snow. I was thinking, you know, we could choose the blend mode. And, you know, if I change it to screen, that works pretty good, you know? Let's take the opacity down a bit, though. Yeah, this is crazy overdoing it at this point. It's okay. Yeah, so opacity, screen works pretty well for blend mode. Let's actually look, though. I want to see how remove background is going to work on something as complex as this. So let's click remove background and see what happens. I imagine it may take a moment or two, as this is video we're dealing with, not just an image. Yeah, it went weird, right? Look at that. It's kind of scary. Yeah. I do not think we're going to go with that. Let's undo it. And the blending to screen worked a lot better, in my opinion. Yeah. I did it again, Command S.
Oh, my dear sweet lady.
Nice. All right. So I'm going to call that good. Because, of course, when you're working on something, especially if you're adding a bunch of animations to things, right? It can get very overwhelming if you're not careful. You can overload your viewer, and you don't want to do that, right? So this is bordering on the chaotic. It's not too bad, but I think if we pushed it anymore, it would get to a place where we wouldn't want it to go to, right? So we've got all our stuff here. Notice all these layers, and we've animated everything except for the background layer. Like everything else is animated here, which is kind of nice. And we've got that video overlay on top. We've got some looping animation. We've got a bunch of stuff animating in. And of course we could put stuff out too. Now, this is something we're not going to do, but you could, of course, right, is to add a scene. When you add a scene, it's going to add an additional scene here, and you can actually sequence things just like Premiere Pro, where you're like, this is my scene here, this is my scene, this is my scene. They follow along with one another. But again, we've got enough stuff here. I'm not going to do that. But what I will do, though, is actually download this so that I can use it elsewhere, because something inside of Express isn't going to be that useful, is it? We want to actually go in here and grab it so that we can upload it elsewhere, or maybe even integrate it inside of a Premiere Pro project or something, right? So of course in Express you get your big download button, and because we have motion content in here, I was going to add audio. We will return to download. Let's go ahead and add audio. So again, just like video, go to media, audio, and there's no audio for snow. Yeah, snow's pretty quiet, right? So we can upload audio. We can record a voiceover. It's fun. Search audio. Happy time loop. Gosh. Cinematic winter ambient. Okay. Click it. It adds it. Let's turn it down a little bit, because come on, guys. And is there any way to fade it? Duplicate, delete, mute, split. So there's no real fade controls or transitions or anything like that, it looks like. Maybe if I added a scene, I know they were working on transitions between scenes, but I'm not sure if that involves audio as well. Doesn't matter. Go back to download now that we've got our audio in there. And yeah, look out. Uploading to YouTube, find the content ID for your audio track. Ugh. And I suppose that would be like right here, right? Yeah, there it is. Okay. But we don't care about that. We're just downloading it. Now, because, again, returning back here, because I have my animation in here, it's going to suggest I download this as an MP4, but we still can download as a PNG or a JPEG. It's, of course, just going to download still. But MP4 is going to give us a nice little MP4 file. Original size makes sense, but yeah, they've really upped this quite a bit. You can download 4K if you want to, 4K video. I'm gonna just hit download. It's gonna go through, it's gonna establish that video, download it, and then we're gonna be good, right? And then we can just submit that wherever we want to. Social media, website, whatever. Anyhow, I don't know how long it's gonna take, so I may end this stream before it's finished. What file format does it build? It creates an MP4 file. So, how satisfied am I? I'm somewhat satisfied, Adobe. I'm somewhat satisfied. Yes. You're welcome. Anytime, guys. Yeah. So there we go. I've got my MP4 file. It uses H.264, of course. Likely AAC for the audio. But there we go. Compatible with just about everything out there. Looks like I have an update for my Express. Oh, that's my downloads. Oh, gosh. All right. Well, I'm going to say we're good here. I've got a couple of other things lined up in terms of streams. So this, like I said, this could be the last one before Christmas, but it's definitely not the last one before New Year's. So, yeah. But this one's done. This is... There's a question from Rob. Can you select different compressions? It looks like the only thing you can select here is just the resolution. So if you wanted to further compress it, you could, of course, download it and then load it up into Adobe Media Encoder and then really fine-tune exactly what you needed in terms of the audio and video and the compression and resolution and just about anything else you wanted to do. I use Media Encoder a lot just to like trim stuff and recompress things and everything. It's a great little utility application for things like that. Yeah. Yeah, and I've used other stuff too, you know, but Media Encoder is very easy to use. Sometimes it doesn't support the file format that I'm trying to work with. And in that case, I have to use something like Handbrake, VLC, FFmpeg, things like that. But Media Encoder usually gets the job done pretty good, especially if you're just dealing with the same codec, H.264. So, yes. Oh, hello, Sandrine. How are you? I'm just wrapping up here. Come here for the music. You can listen on Spotify too. That's actually where I'm streaming it all from. This is just Spotify. The background music. Yeah, so Sandrine, we pulled together this little wintry card today. Yeah, combination of all sorts of different little elements. We got some generative AI stuff in the middle. We got some bitmap looking stuff, some vectory stuff. We got text. We got some effects on the text like drop shadows. We've got animate in on a number of different things. We got looping. We've got staggered animation here for everything. Yeah. All inside of Adobe Express, which is, you know, for being a web application, it is pretty, yeah, it's pretty impressive because, you know, I used to work in web. I used to build systems that were served and that ran on websites and everything. And for the time, a lot of them were pretty impressive. Like we had streaming video and the ability to create clips and things like that on some of the systems that I was a part of before YouTube, you know? So very, very cool times, but I don't do that stuff anymore. I teach now, so oh well. All right. Well, thank you, Rob. Thank you, Sandrine. I am gonna call it complete, and yeah, like I said, I'll probably have a few more of these streams before the year ends. There are some things I want to record. A lot of these things I get ideas for things that I need to, you know, demonstrate for a couple of online asynchronous classes that I do. And this is a great way to be able to share some of this stuff, not only with the wider Behance community, but also target things that my students need to know. So, yes, we're starting a new semester, of course, mid-January. So, got to keep on top of things, keep things fresh. Yeah. Thanks. Yeah, the Animate one. So, if this is the Mastering Adobe Animate 2023, that book, I'm very happy with how everything came together in there. I'm assuming that's the one. It's the latest Animate book that I have. But yeah, thanks. I'm hoping on finishing up the new book with 2D and 3D workflows. I mean, before the new year for sure, but it'd be great if I could do it, I don't know, this weekend. I don't have a lot left to do, like I said. I'm on the final chapter I need to submit. Just finishing it up, so. All right, cool. Well, thank you again, everyone. Rob, Sandrine, anyone else who is here and has enjoyed this. It's been a fun little thing. And like I said, this is the first time I really looked into, you know, animating inside of Express. So it's been interesting for me too to see the capabilities, new capabilities of the stuff. All right, cool. Bye, everyone. And in case I don't do another stream before Christmas, I hope everyone has a really nice Christmas. All right. Thank you.